Hello, it's me. And so, the World Economic Forum and Trump. Now, they were never the best of friends, but it appears they've fallen out. Trump wants to buy Greenland. I still can't get over that. How much does a country cost these days? I heard recently that was it called Little St. James Island was sold to the US by the Netherlands. Is that a thing? Or is that just hearsay? It turns out to be Epstein Island. You know, it's on the internet, so it must be true. So Trump wants to buy Greenland, and in doing so, ensure safety for all those citizens within. He rightly points out that Greenland can't defend itself from China or Russia, and having the American presence would indeed be a larger guarantee of safety than anything else that currently exists. But the Greenland politicians are not having it. They're not happy. And why should they be? Because this move by Trump does smack of capitalist regime change. But is that really the goal by Trump? We've got all these WEF politicians puffing their chests out and being righteously indignant. But Greenland is really only strategically important to the US. I dare say there may be some US citizens who want to live there, but frankly, Greenland, California, Greenland, Miami, Greenland, Arizona. I mean, you could probably tell that I prefer the warm weather. But the Economic Forum goes on telling us who we should be, what we should eat, where we should go, the science that we should pay attention to, and the science that we shouldn't. The WEF, the World Economic Forum, is in fact exercising regime change in Europe. Not in any way that normally one would think of regime change, but make no mistake, Europe is changing. And so we have to ask ourselves as citizens of Europe, I'm in the UK, whether or not that change is a good or bad thing. A few years ago, the UK tried to leave the European Union, and it did so successfully, but it was a close call. With Boris Johnson at the head of the country, we spoiled Europe's grand plan to challenge the US as an economic world power. It's my belief that the euro, the then new currency of the European Union, was brought into being to challenge the US dollar. Europe had become tired with the all-pervasive influence of the American dollar and set about trying to change it. But it needed Britain, and although Britain in many ways is not the country that it used to be, it still has influence across the world. And such influence was required by Europe. With London on board as the main voice of the British Isles in Europe, it would appear to have much more legitimacy than it currently does. And so under Starmer, we're being slowly, inexorably drawn back into Europe. They say that the process is the punishment, and I think in the UK you can see that process being played out, and trust me, it is a punishment. Starmer has rushed through so many unpopular policies that his U-turns are now becoming an object of political derision within the Houses of Parliament. It's quite comforting, really, to know that when the British people speak, they still have some power. But I think it's crucial to try to understand what's actually going on here with the World Economic Forum. It's effectively just another authoritarian gang. And instead of the jackboot of authoritarianism, we have the neatly laced Oxford shoe of authoritarianism. These men with their neatly coiffed hair, something I know a little bit about, and their expensive clothes talk in open terms, using open gestures. Trust us, it will be fine. We know what we're doing. History has unfortunately shown us that after 10 or 15 years of peace on the planet, there are always some psychos intent on enforcing their own agenda. And that's the pervasive, corrupting nature of power. It's ever present, waiting in the wings for an opportunity to do its thing. But powerful people exist, and be it Macron, Carney or Starmer, they see power and they chase power. Am I arguing here that Trump is any different? No. But yes. Trump wants power for himself, but not global power, in my opinion. He's a businessman. He just wants to be well off. He wants the cachet of being able to bask in the glory of the power that he has. He has no interest in ruling the world. The liberal left in America is fond of holding up a sign that says, "No kings," blissfully unaware or ignorant of the fact that the outgoing President, Biden, who in my opinion was heavily connected to the World Economic Forum, was in fact advocating for just that. These people that you see here in front of you at these WEF gatherings, they intend on becoming the new power on the planet, the nouveau riche, or would that be the new royals? We are all looking down the barrel of the World Economic Forum, and the question you have to ask yourself, the only question you have to ask yourself, is what kind of dictator do you want? Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Do like, subscribe and share if you'd like, because every time you click those little buttons it does help the channel get out to a wider audience. So until next time, this is me signing off. Do look after yourselves.